Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Marcus from InfoSec Governance, and in today's video we're going to talk about Cyber Essentials and the questions relating primarily to malware protection and patch management. If you'd like to know more about Cyber Essentials and the software controls or anything else that can help you safeguard your business from cyber related attacks, feel free to put your comments down below this video, and we can build some videos in the future moving forward. Now let's get on to the important stuff: malware and patch management within Cyber Essentials. First up is malware or malicious software. Malware can be defined as any type of file or application that can be harmful to a device, whether it's a mobile device such as a phone, a computer, a laptop, smart device, and is closely linked with other types of damaging software such as viruses, worms and trojans. Malware can come in all shapes and sizes. It can be designed to be a specific target to various companies and devices. Others can be a free-for-all, so it just relies upon you actually clicking or downloading the file or opening up an email and going from there and spreading from that side of things. Additionally, with malware can be used to encrypt your computers, as you might have heard, ransomware type things, or it could be a case of malware just is there and is destructive and can just go and destroy all the information in there. So if you don't have any backups or any kind of business continuity in place, it could put your business in serious risk of damage. Now, once malware is installed on a device, depending upon the payload, it can sometimes talk to an external website, and then once it communicates to that website, it can actually update its own settings and actually target and update itself and learn on the fly, as you could say, and go from there. So now that you know what malware is, how do you actually protect yourself against it? Most of the malware that will come from an email or a non-legitimate application they've accidentally downloaded from a website that's not legit. But the best way to protect yourself against it is actually to ensure that your email systems are all configured correctly, that if you're in an enterprise environment, you're blocking all the file attachments correctly, so you're not allowing through PowerShell scripts, JavaScript, application files, batch files, anything that can execute. If you block it from there, then you're locking that threshold, or you're blocking that threshold from infections pretty much straight away, and it's actually just reducing that attack vector. But what about blocking your systems if it's not actually through email? What happens if you've actually downloaded it from a website? Well, there's a couple of things you can do there. You can apply the latest security patches, or ensure that you apply the latest security patches, ensuring that computers aren't running as an administrator account. So when you log on to your computer, make sure you're using a lower level user account, a standard user account, and not actually administrator. Because what that happens is, if you actually download a malware application accidentally and you execute it running as a system administrator or a high level account, that could actually grant access to all controls of your computer, spread across to other machines on the network, and go from there. And then if everyone within the business is running as local administrator accounts, then that just populates right across the environment. So ideally, for your day-to-day accounts, just run as standard user account, and then go from there. Because if malware tries to run, it's going to get blocked, and it's not actually going to be able to install and update itself and propagate, because it's going to pump up on the computer saying this application needs to do X, Y, and Z, which then obviously rings the alarm bells moving forward. Another thing you can do as well is run antivirus. Antivirus will also help and protect and deter against malware. It'll pop up and say this application is trying to do X, Y, and Z. Like, for example, trying to run a lot of things, change some settings, opening up connections all over the place depending upon the type of antivirus you have. And a lot of definition files can be in place as well. So if some malware gets installed in your computer, the antivirus will actually detect it and clean it and disinfect it moving forward. So when it comes down to Cyber Essentials and malware, you'll be asked whether or not you have anti-malware installed on all your devices. This includes your computers, your laptops, your tablets, mobile phones, pretty much anything that's within scope of Cyber Essentials. Cyber Essentials will ask you to confirm that the software has been installed, it's been kept up to date, your definition files are updated daily, and you run daily scans all the time. Ideally, you should be running real-time scanning, so if anything does get picked up, the antivirus or the anti-malware software will detect it straight away, clean it, disinfect it, or make you aware of the issue. Another question you'd be asked is, if the software is installed, is it set to scan web pages and prompt and warn you against any malicious websites? So what this happens is if you've got your anti-malware software installed, if you go to a website that has been compromised or is known to be malicious, it'll actually come up and prompt you and warn you. For Cyber Essentials, this has to be put in place. Now, majority of the anti-malware software has these type of controls in place, so you shouldn't have a problem with that. Patch management, or when you're discussing within the Cyber Essentials context, it's called software patching, is the process of where you're ensuring that your devices are kept up to date and all updates are applied. Ideally, for Cyber Essentials, it has to be all security and critical system updates. So this could mean if your Windows system or your Mac OS system or your Android, your iOS systems, they all have to be kept up to date. Now, a lot of the time you can do automatic updates, which is by default in a lot of the places now. So as soon as an update comes out, you're prompted that there's an update. You can go down, install it, reboot your machine for Windows, and then you can go from there. Now with Cyber Essentials as well, software patching also applies to third-party applications. So for example, Office 365, the Microsoft Office applications, Adobe Flash, Adobe Reader, and things like that. They all have to be updated and kept up to date as well. Now a lot of the newer software versions all have auto update installed and configured. So if you install an application, after a while you get prompted to say there's an update, you can install it, apply it, and it's all up to date. But for your older applications which don't have this, you're expected under Cyber Essentials to go through, make sure that all these applications are kept up to date. Now this could be the case of you sign up to the manufacturer's newsletters to be kept up to date of any updates that come out, or you could have to go to the website, check to make sure there's no updates, and then download them if there are. Another question in Cyber Essentials regarding software patching is making sure that your software is all licensed and up to date. So for Cyber Essentials, you've got to make sure that any software licensing is all in place, it's all supported, your applications are being maintained and kept up to date. Now with software patching, you have to make sure that all operating systems, mobile devices, third-party applications, everything are all kept up to date as mentioned, but it has to be also installed and applied within 14 days of release. So what that means is if you get an update and it's prompted, you have 14 days to get that update applied, installed across all machines within the business. Now this is especially more, difficult when it comes to mobile devices like Android and iOS. For that you have 14 days to get those installed as well, but for iOS you have 14 days to install the very latest version that's available. Whereas Android you have version 8.1 and above, for iOS you have to install the very latest version that is available to your device, or which has been released by Apple. So for example, at the time of recording it's 14.3. And with that you have to install 14.3 from 14 days of Apple releasing that. If you have 14.1 and it's 30 days time, then that's no longer valid, and you have to ensure that your phone's kept up to date. So I hope this has been informative for you. I hope these has answered a couple of questions for you with regards to Cyber Essentials. And appreciate if you like the video, if it's been of use to you, subscribe to the channel, and you get some more information about Cyber Essentials and other type of videos coming along in the future. So that's it for now, and see you later.